Okay, hello, hi. Remember to smash that like button on MrBrock.net. Back on the YouTubes, we're gonna talk. We're gonna review a little bit about the Ottoman Empire, and then talk about Japan. So here's our quiz up here on the board, so we'll see what we got here. What was the name of the reforms attempted by the Ottoman Empire? Anybody have a guess? Amy, Cornelius. Louder.
The Tanzimat.
Good. You can say Tanzimat or Tanzimat. Either one is fine. That's cool. Number 2, describe one belief of the Young Turks or the Young Ottomans. Anybody? Jacob Cook.
Both believe in secular laws.
Okay, both wanted Turkey and the Ottoman Empire to become secular. Yeah? Anything else? Yeah? Yeah, they wanted modernization. They wanted the world to be modern. How are they different? Anybody? Come on, you know. They were different how?
The Young Turks. You mean between each other?
Yeah. The Young Turks were meaner. Yeah, I like that. They were more radical. They were militant. Whereas the Ottomans, they were still part of the empire, right? Realize that this country called Turkey is going to break out of the Ottoman Empire. And so it's sort of like the Ottoman Empire is England, and Turkey is the United States. Okay, cool. And basically, the Young Turks wanted everything to be very, very, very secular, very hardcore, separation of church and state, and all that. Good. And then number 3, list one way Qing China and the Ottoman Empire were similar during the last part of the 1900s. Anybody have anything? Taylor gave me that look like she knew the answer but didn't want to raise her hand. Now she giggles. And now she tells me the answer. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. They both were trying to catch up with Europe and the industrial world. You know, the Industrial Revolution happens in 1750, but when we get to like 1900, China and the Ottoman Empire are still struggling with their reforms. Okay? Very good. Excellent question. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer, and we're going to talk about Ottoman Empire stuff that you guys read from last night. Everybody cool with that? Okay. Hey, Siri, start a timer for 10 minutes. And
okay, 10 minutes and counting.
There we go. And what we'll do is I'll cut this video, and this will just be a review of the Ottoman Empire, and then we'll do the Japan video. Okay? All right, so what we got about Ottoman Empire that you read last night that you thought was interesting or cool or questions? Go. Okay, so the question was elaborate on defensive modernization. All right, so that's a really good thing because that's the thing that, like, at the end of this unit, when you have all this information together, the thing you need to know about about the Ottoman Empire and Qing China is that they didn't want to modernize, but they did it begrudgingly. Do you guys know what begrudgingly means? With a grudge? Yeah, it means kind of with a grudge. Like, begrudgingly is like when Alexa's like finally done with Cade and she's like, Cade, I'm totally, get out of my face. Sure, you're going to be a pro golfer and everything, but I don't want to deal with you. All right. So she's going to dump Cade, and Cade's going to feel really bad. Like he wants to stay with Alexa and be a part of the Bustle dynasty and everything. Right. But what's going to happen is he's going to begrudgingly say, okay. He's like, I don't want to, but okay. And so this defensive modernization, that's what this is. Defensive modernization is we don't want to modernize. Why would they not want to modernize? It's because of the status quo. It's because they want to keep their power the way it is. And so the people who are in charge of the Ottoman Empire and the Qing China. Oh, that's cute. Okay. The people who are in charge of these two groups are old conservatives. And the Qing dynasty has been in control since the 1600s. And the Ottoman Empire has been in control since the 1400s. This is the same group that took Constantinople and made it Istanbul. You guys agree with that? These guys rode the wave very high through the pre-industrial world. And now it's time to change, and they don't want to change. It's the old people hanging on. And it's the old people who keep the power. And because they have the power, they don't want to change. But by the time these guys are getting pulverized in the Opium Wars, right? And these guys are ending up having to sell everything they have to England and France to build the Suez Canal, and they're losing their states all over the place. One last-ditch effort is this big M. We're going to try to modernize. We're going to try to get modern armies. We're going to try to get back on track. Defensively, though, we're not doing it because we want to get rich. We're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. We're doing it in defense so we can at least keep our country. The people that push the defensive modernization are always young people. Okay? You could compare this to today. Like, would you guys agree that, like, the American economic system is screwed up? Or no? Just fine?
I think it's overall good, but it's probably got some flaws.
It's got some flaws. It's got some flaws in that most people in America are in debt. Hey Siri, what percentage of Americans are in debt?
My web search turned something up for what percentage of Americans are in debt. Have a look.
157 million Americans. So if we go to the number, 325. So about 50% of Americans are in debt. Okay. Hey Siri, what percentage of Americans are below the poverty line?
The answer is about 15.1%.
Okay, 15% of the people in the richest country in the world are so poor they can't afford food. All right? And then, do you guys remember the pie chart thing? Where the richest 1% of the country controls that much money. Is it that much, or is it? I think it's 2/3, isn't it? Yeah. This much money in the United States is controlled by the richest 1%. So, Jacob, I appreciate your optimism in saying, it's all right. But most people will say it's really screwed up. And so who's trying to change that? The people that are trying to change that are the people who are getting screwed over by the system and wanting new things to happen. And the people who are trying not to change that are the people who are benefiting from it. Now, it's not just that richest 1%, but it is people who are in the 5%, the 10%, the 20% that are still doing okay. They're trying to maintain the status quo. They don't want things to change. But the writing's on the wall, guys. To feed 100 people back in the 1600s, it probably took about 70 people to feed 100 people. Do we agree with that? Industrial Revolution happens, and it takes about 5 people to feed 100 people, right? By the time you guys have kids in high school, it's probably going to take about 0.1 people to feed 100 people. And then where do those people go? What jobs do we have when we don't need jobs? How's that going to change? And so we're trying to push that. That's what, but the people who are making money off of it are, excellent example, coal mines. We don't need coal anymore. Do you guys know that? Now, they'd like to tell you that we need coal, but we don't, because we have natural gas, and natural gas is way cheaper. And there's way more of it. Who wants to keep mining coal? Coal miners. My brother wants to keep mining coal. Okay? Coal company owners want to keep mining coal. Right? Communities where coal mining is the main way to make a profit want to keep mining coal. Right? But something's got to change. We've got to come in and try to change something because those jobs just aren't going to be there. The economy is going to change. The world economy is changing. And so what it is, Taylor, is it's conservatives versus liberals in this push towards change in a changing world. And so they're doing it defensively. That's an excellent question. Wow, that was a diatribe. Who has a question or a comment that won't take me 6 hours to answer? Jake.
Okay, so it talked about Romania and Greece kind of forming that nationalist idea.
Yes.
Now, is it directed at the Ottoman Empire, or have they been conquered by Napoleon and they just happen to kind of free themselves? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'd have to look at a map to see if Greece was conquered by Napoleon. Greece is far enough away that I would say that's probably not the case. I have.
So Greece was probably more directly against Ottoman.
Right. And so, that's interesting. There we go. So if we were to pull up, the dimension, wow. Okay, if we were to pull up a French Empire map, yeah, Greece doesn't get it. Okay, a little bit of Poland though. And so it's Ottoman Empire. And think of Greece and think of Romania. Do you think of those as being Muslim countries? Question mark. No, Mr. Rob, Greece and Romania are not Muslim countries. Good answer, students. So if you think of Greece and Romania, Islam is going to be more over here. This is Ottoman. This is Napoleon here. Okay, so that makes sense. And so where we end up is they feel like they're being controlled. Greece and Romania and all those Balkan states, all these states over here. This is the Black Sea, right? So all these Balkan states here, remember Constantinople, Istanbul is right here. All these states, they feel like, we don't really feel like we're Ottomans. And very quickly, the idea of Ottoman identity is changing from being an Ottoman to being a Turk, to being from this peninsula, the Anatolian Peninsula. So that's why. They feel more Greek than they feel Ottoman. They feel more Balkan than they feel Ottoman. And even the people here are going to feel more Turkish than they feel Ottoman. Okay? Excellent question, dude. So yeah, these guys are wanting to buck away from the Ottoman Empire. Okay? All right. So that's our kind of wrap-up review on the Ottoman Empire. Remember to don't like this channel and make sure that, if nothing else, you unsubscribe because that's a waste of time. Whoa, the dimensions. Ha-ha! And we'll move on. We'll come back really soon and talk about Japan.